Jumbo Africa, Sawubona, Molweni, Na, Makadi, hello. This is the grand rising of the sons and daughters of the sun. I wish I know every African language, but unfortunately, I don't know, but I'm in the process of learning some more of African languages. So in every episode of this show, of the Real Talk Show, I'll be introducing every new word from the language of Swahili. So keep in touch if you want to learn more about Swahili with your boy Trivla. So today we are going to discuss the topic about single parenting. We are going to take a look back on our first episode where we're discussing single parenting and irresponsible modern men. So without wasting much of your time, we are going to elaborate like a lot of things which are affecting our society. But before we go into the topic of today, let me give a shout out to my man Dice behind the camera. He's the one who is making everything to go accordingly with the plan. So pamuri kuona pese zvinhu zvichiendeka ziya kuti kune team riri kushanda kumasure kwecamera. So shout out to my producer Dice.
Yo, what up, bro?
Sure, my man.
G, I got ganga with me. I got
So if
good
guys
G, bro.
kana usationa our first episode, just go back and watch the first episode so that you'll be able to understand today's episode. So kana makagara fasting build, because you're going to get it as it is. And today we don't have any message. We're going to break down this episode into two segments. So the first segment is going to be about single parenting, and we are going to look at what are the causes of single parenting. So there are three main causes of single parenting. Number one, which is divorce. In most cases, when we have single parents, it might be the result of divorce. And reason number two, it might be a breakup. Couples break up. Or maybe a boy and a girl have been having an affair, and then things didn't work and they end up breaking up. Okay, so we're going to look at the reason number three of single parenting, which is abandonment. There are women who have been abandoned by their men. Okay, so with all these three together, we are going to come up with one conclusion, which is, despite the reasons that women have been divorced, women have been abandoned or whatsoever, we are going to put the blame on women. As I said before on the previous episode, 80% of the blame for single motherhood, I put the blame on women, and 20% on men. So we are going to break down and see why we put most of the blame on women. Number one, women choose whom they want to date. A man approaches a woman and proposes to a woman, and it is a woman's choice to say yes or no. So whenever a woman is in a situation or a relationship with anyone, it is their choice, it is not by force. Okay, so we are going to look at the reason number two why we are saying we put the blame on women. Modern women are the most privileged women to ever live since the day of the beginning. Modern women have all the various choices to make, and they are the gatekeepers of sex. So women choose who they want to sleep with, and women choose whom they want to have babies with. Modern women have got all these various options so that they can choose to be or not to be pregnant. So in this category, we cannot put women who were raped or women who were victims of rape. We are talking of an average woman. Most women, they have an option whether to keep the baby or not to keep the baby. Number one, modern women have got the option to choose whom they want to have sex with because they're gatekeepers of sex. Number two, modern women have got all various of contraceptives they can take to prevent being pregnant. Also, modern women, if they control sex, they can also control who they sleep with. We are either by using condom or not using condom. So it's not an excuse for a woman to say, I am a single mother and my baby daddy is a deadbeat. I think women should be very responsible of their own actions. Okay, so number three we are going to say women have got also an option to abort. It is legal for women to abort, though I don't condone abortion, but women have got an option to abort a child. Women have got also an abortion. Women also have an option to abort the baby, though we don't condone abortion, but it is legal for a woman to abort a baby. So women have got a bunch of options as compared to men. Also, women have got this option of taking babies for adoption, which is one of the last choices they have. In fact, it's not the last, but on their side, we consider it as the last option. So women have got a bunch of choices to make. So women need to take full responsibility of their actions and stop the blame game. So once women take full responsibility of their actions, they will be able to rectify their mistakes and also teach the young and coming generations so that they won't fall in the same trap these women are in. So we are going to look more into this key point. Only if women want to take full responsibility of their actions, at least we would have a limited number of single parenthood in the society. And I think women are the fundamental reason why we have single motherhood and why we have the society which is very, very bad state. So we are going to take a look at the consequences of being a single parent. So if you are a young girl or a young woman who is thinking of becoming a single parent, before you consider to be one, you need to check the consequences of being a single parent. Okay, so number one, we are going to see from the side of women, from the statistics, from the data that we have collected from different people and different cultures and different people from all the world. You're going to see that most single parents suffers from trauma. If you are a single mother and you are living alone, it's very traumatic to live alone with the child. So it is not safe for a woman to be a single parent. It's very traumatizing. One of the reasons why it is traumatizing, I think, is because women will lack financial support. So for one person or for any individual to be on a survival mode in this world is to be financially stable. So if a woman is living alone and taking care of the baby, it will be very hard. The conditions will be hard for both of them to survive because of limited resources. So lack of financial sustainability will cause women to be traumatic. Also, another reason is loneliness. A woman will be living a life of loneliness, and loneliness will also lead to sadness. So if you're considering to be a single parent, you have to take a look at the consequences of being a single parent. Depression is also one of those reasons why most women who are single mothers are facing trauma in their lives. Okay, I think you guys will like this video and you guys are enjoying what you're doing in promoting femininity and masculinity in the society. So to have a good and stable home and marriage, we need to have polarity other than equality. Single mothers also will end up doing extra duties because they will need to nurture the child, which is their side, and they also need to provide for the child, which is not for them to provide but for the men. So because they don't have the men in their life, because of the absence of the father figure in their lives, they will be forced to be doing some extra duties for the upkeep of the child. So I don't think any woman is willing to go all through these phases in life. I think it is a very, very, very traumatic experience for any woman to be living alone with the kids. I think it doesn't have a good impact to the child and also for the mother. It is not a healthy life. Okay, the other challenge that most single women are facing is the they are having less time, or they are having limited time with the kids or the children. Let's suppose a woman is working a 9-to-5 job and she has to come back and do the cooking, cleaning and stuff. So in most cases, women, they work tirelessly and they won't be able to take care of the baby and to have time with the kids. So I think it is very bad. And also most single parents, they turn out to be promiscuous and alcoholics. Most single parents, if you check their circles, they are playing with single parents, and also they are playing with bad people who give them bad influence. So they became promiscuous due to lack of financial support. So in order for them to keep their families financially stable, they will end up being promiscuous so that they will take care of the kids and to provide family basic needs to the kids. Also, they will become alcoholics simply because our generation believe that alcohol relieves stress. So these women buy this gospel of believing that when they go and start being alcoholics, they will relieve their stress, which is not true. So before you consider being a single parent, you need to take a look into all of these consequences of being a single parent. Most single parents, like, they turn out to be homewreckers. As you all know, women are the enemies of women. So simply because they couldn't make up their homes and they couldn't keep their husbands, or they couldn't keep the men, they went around and being homewreckers. It's either they are side chicks to the married men, or they are mistresses to the married men, or they are comebackers to the men who give them financial support. It's very, very traumatizing to be a single parent. It's good if you have family members who are very supportive, but it's very rare to find family members who are very supportive, because they will be having a burden of keeping their own families, so it will be hard for them to be taking care of you and your baby again. So before you consider to become a single mother, you need to consider all these things. Okay, so we are going to look at the consequences of single parenting to the kid. After they became homewreckers, promiscuity and all these things, modern women, they turn out, single mothers, they turn out to be psychopathic. I need you to change this word, psychopathic. Okay, so the more pain the women experienced in life, the more damaged she became. Take a look at any woman who have had many sexual partners, or who have had many relationships or heartbreaks in her life. Those women, they turn out to be bad because of the pain or the experience that they went through. So with all these around women, they turn out to be psychopathic. Okay, so single mothers suffer also parental stress. Single mothers creates generational poverty. It is very hard for a woman to build an empire for the kids, simply because it will be hard for her to provide them with the basic family needs, like best education system, best health care, best food, or any basic need in a family. It will be hard for them to provide. So we can't even talk of generational wealth. So most single parents, most single mothers, they are creating what we call generational poverty to the kids. So before you consider to become one, you need to consider all these consequences that single parents suffer. Okay, we're going to take a look at one of the reasons again of one of the effects or consequences of single parenting. Okay, single women also suffer to provide basic needs for their families, which is food, also good housing. Most single women, they can't afford to live a better life or to own a house. They spend most of their lives renting, which is also bad for the kid. They will be living bad life as adults. So it is very bad to be a single parent, because you are creating generations and generations in poverty. Also, it will be hard to provide good clothing or good utilities for the kids. So this is it for the consequences of single parenting to the mother. And also, due to this stress that the kids go through in life, they might end up being stupid, dumb, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
okay. Sure. So you're going to the second segment of the episode. Take a look at the consequences of single motherhood to the kid. Okay, so there are also effects that affects the kid when they are living in an environment with the absence of the father figure in their lives. Okay, so when raising boys as a single parent, they tend to be more idle in young adulthood. Okay, so the young boys, they become unproductive. They become unfocused in life simply because there is a lack of a male figure in their lives. Also, there is no mentor in their lives, so they become more unproductive in their life. Okay, so with the absence of this male figure, the boys became also unproductive. What they will be doing, sitting down, playing PlayStation, doing gambling, scrolling all over social media, doing nothing. They become unproductive. So it's very, very traumatizing to be a boy who was raised by a single parent. Most boys who were raised by single parents, they turn out to be mama's boys. Those are the type of men, as you said on our previous episode, who will be crying in front of their woman. They were boys who are more exploring to their feminine side, of which they shouldn't be doing, but it is because of exposure to single parenthood. Okay, so these boys also, they turn out to be mostly drop out from school, simply because there's no guidance in life. A man is there to give the rules and to give guidance to the kids. So if there's no male figure in their life, boys mostly sometimes with the bad influence from school, they will turn out being dropouts, and they end up being in the streets, and they end up being robbers, or they end up being killers, or end up being all sorts of bad things that you can ever imagine. Okay, let's take a look in our society right now. Okay, most houses, most families, they are female headed. And how is the condition of the society today? Our society is not very healthy. Our society is messed up. Why is the society messed up? It's simply because we have a lot of families which are female headed, and the society is decomposed. So that is a true sign that women are not able, they are not capable of taking care of kids alone, and those kids tend to be good kids of their parents. But due to single motherhood, they will hate their partners, they will hate their baby daddies, and they will extend the hate to the child, and the child or the kids will get involved in this hate, and they will grow up hating their fathers. It's very shameful, but we are trying and we are fighting to change the narrative. We are fighting to create good homes, and once we have good homes, we can have a good society. Once we have a good society, then we can have a better country and we can have a better world. Okay, so also women at the expense of their jobs, they will leave their kids under the guardian of strangers. Okay, some people have got bad manners, some people have got their different cultures, some people have got their own different views about the world and morals. So leaving the kids with anyone else, they will train your kids accordingly with their own ways. So if you want to teach your kids to do what is good, and the other person who is the guardian when you're absent is doing what is wrong, you will never raise a good kid. So it's very, very, very bad for those women who are doing all this type of shit, because it is very traumatic to the kids. So I always emphasizing this point, and I always keep on emphasizing this point. If you are still young and you haven't gone to this step of being a single parent, before you consider to be one, think twice, sit down, look around the world. It is not what you think it is. Most single parents are very, very sad. So you gotta think twice before you make any decisions in your life. Okay, so we are going forward to look at the consequences of single parenting to the kids. Okay, so kids who grew up with single mothers, they end up facing the consequences of living a poor life, or they end up seeing the negative side of living a poor life. Number one, kids who grew up with single parents, they suffer from physical damage. Physically, they are not even strong. Physically, they are damaged. You can see the way they talk. You can see from the way they walk. You can see from their appearance that these kids are definitely damaged. So it is very shameful and it is very embarrassing, and I don't know what to call it, but it is very sad. If you look into our society right now, it is messed up, and I put all the blame on women. Once they start taking full responsibility, then our societies will become better and better. Okay, let's go on to point number two. Point number two, kids who grow up with single mothers, they end up suffering from mental disorder. Grew up without a father, facing financial challenges, and going all through hell in life, lacking family basic needs, it will lead to mental disorder. So most people who were raised by single parents, as I emphasized on the previous episode, I call them they are dumb and stupid. Not because they were born in that way, but somewhere along the line, from their childhood experience, they were created to behave in such a way. So most kids who grew up with single mothers, they end up suffering from mental disorder. Point number three, children from single parents, from single mothers, they end up suffering also from behavioral problems. Look at the behavior. Someone who was raised by both parents behaves totally different from someone who was raised by a single mother. Because someone who was raised in a family which is a family of a mother and a father, they behave most of the time, we are not saying everyone, but most of the time, those kids, they behave in a good and well-mannered way, as compared to those who are raised by single mothers. Take a look into our society. Just go outside, walk around, look what is happening. Most houses are female-headed, most families are female-headed, and hence society is messed up. That is the true result, that most kids who are raised by single parents, they are mentally disordered. Okay, we're going to reason number four. Those kids their mental development is very disrupted. So it will be hard for them to train their brain to function so well. They won't be functioning very well due to a lot of stress as kids, due to a lot of trauma. So try not to, by all means, raise a kid alone. Okay, reason number 5, there will be short educational trajectories for those kids who are raised by single parents. So in every action that you make, there are consequences. So before you think of doing something, sit down, think twice. Is this good? Is this bad? Most single mothers, they end up wasting much of their energy in providing for the kid, and they think that is what the kids need. But it goes along with other ways. You need to install discipline. Most single parents, from experience, I'm talking from experience, they end up doing a lot of shit, a lot of crazy things that you can never imagine of, so that they can provide for the kids. But what about the behavior of the kid? What about discipline? What about morals? What about values? Those kids, they're gonna grow up, they turn out to be fat. They are overweight simply because they are being, they say they are being taken good care of, but I don't think so. Kids need to have discipline, morals, and values. But most of single women, they won't have time for parenting with this kids. It's very shameful. We're going to reason number 6. Most of these kids, they'll end up suffering from what we call challenges of employment in adulthood. It will be hard for those people to be employed, simply because most of the times they won't have an experience at a certain job. They don't have careers. They were dropouts. They were in the streets when others were at school. So it will be hard for them to have a profession or to have a good, decent job. Think for the kids. Stop being selfish. Stop thinking like a kid before you think of being a single parent. It is good for your own selfishness, but what about the kids? What about the society? What about the future generation? You are going to create bad men into the society. You are going to create bad women into the society. You are going to create generational poverty into the next generation. So before you think of doing something stupid, think twice. One of the most negative consequences or effects of single motherhood to the kid is that kids will be exposed to adulthood at an early stage. Teen pregnancies, early marriages. Kids will be exposed to premarital sex, and most of the time it will lead them to have multiple partners, and they will be exposed to STIs. So it is a very, very, very bad idea. Before you think of doing anything stupid, I'm telling you, if you are a single woman and you want to be honest with your men, tell them the truth. Tell the young girls the effects of being a single mother. Tell other women how it is bad to be a single mother. But it is very sad that women will never tell you the truth because they don't want to die alone in the situation. They need a lot of other women to join them suffering from single motherhood. So if you're a young woman, before you got into any of this shit, think twice. And also you need to follow more of our content so that you get to know more about the female nature and how the world works. Stop being delusional. Okay, so with a lot of ignorance from women they think that single parenthood is a good thing, But it is a very, very traumatizing way of experiencing life. It is very, very traumatizing. Imagine me as a man waking up at 5, going to work, and at times I get bored. Like, I don't want to go to work. So imagine a woman who is supposed to be taken care of, sitting at home, taking care of the babies. She's now doing 2 duties. From work, she come and take care of the baby, and she will need time to deal with the baby and to talk with the kids. It is a bad way of experiencing life. Many lives are included. Lives of the kids, they are in danger, and also the lives of the mother, they are in danger. As women go through that pain in life, they turn out to be bad. So I would advise you guys, watch out for your social media aunties who are single mothers. Don't you ever listen to those people. They are there to destroy you. They are there to destroy your future. So you need to know what is right and what is wrong. You need to know how to think. Don't let anyone teach you what to think, but you need to know how. Okay, so in conclusion, we are going to scrutinize the important role of a father figure in the lives of a child, or in the life of a healthy family. Okay, so number 1, children look up to their fathers to lay down the foundation, to lay down the rules and to explore them. Men were born naturally to be leaders. So it is men who make the rules in the family. They give the rules to the mothers, and mothers give the rules to the kids. That is the order that is supposed to be in the family. That is the hierarchical order of the family: father, mother, and children. So if there is no father figure in the family, there will be no one to set the rules. Some single mothers, they do, but the probability is very, very low. Okay, so we're going to reason number 2. A mother's duty is to nurture the child from childbirth up to the stage of 4, let's say from 3 up to 5 years. It is a mother's duty to nurture the child, and from that stage of kindergarten up to adulthood, kids need mentors. So the only person who is able to mentor, it is the father. So father figures play a very important role in the upbringing of the child, or in a healthy home. So I would advise you guys, if you are watching this show, if you are liking our content, please go and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like. Also, don't forget to drop a comment so that we can keep on giving you good content. Okay, number 3. Fathers provide a feeling of protection to the kids. Whenever a child is with the father, they feel they are safe if the father is very strong. Whenever kids are in danger, men are there to protect, not just physically, but both physically and mentally or emotionally. So father figures, they play an important role in the upbringing of the child. Okay, we're going to another reason. Father appears in the development of a child's emotional well-being. Women are emotional beings. So whenever a woman sees a kid falling to the ground, they become emotional. they feel for the kid simply because it is in their DNA. They were created and born in that way, to be emotional. So it's different with the man. Even if a child is crying, let's suppose the father and his son, they are running, and the son falls to the ground and started crying, "Dad, I can't carry on doing this shit." Father was saying, "Son, you know what? Wipe your tears. Let's continue with the journey." That's what fathers do. So there's a difference between fathers and mothers. So fathers play a very important role in the upbringing of the child. If your home or if your family is fatherless, that is the number one sign of danger. So before you do anything silly, you need to think twice. Okay, so we're going to another reason. Father figures promotes inner growth and strength in kids. As fathers are mentors, they train their child to be a good child, and also they lead them in a way where they will grow both physically and mentally. The other reason also is that if a father is a loving father, it is a very gentle. His daughter will also look up for these things in a man. You know, when a father is good, as a daughter, she will cherish the behavior and the character of the father figure in the house. And when she goes out looking for a man, she will look for the very same man. She desires a man who is more like a father. If it is for the sons or boys imitate their fathers. So if a father is a very, very good father, the son will imitate his father. And also women will look for men who resembles the characters of their fathers. So don't underestimate the power of the father figure in the family. But the other reason why a family should have a father figure, when the father is very strong and valiant, a girl child will relate closely to men of the same character. In Shona they say, "Kandiro kanopfumba kunovakana," and they say, "Gavi rinobva kumasuriro." If a woman is raised by a single mother, she's most probably going to be a single mother. If a woman was raised by a strong and valiant father, she's most definitely going to look for that very same man when she's ready to settle down. So I'm trying to help these young women to see the importance of a family that is very, very healthy. Forget equality and always remember, I always tell you, we deal with polarity. Okay, so the last reason, girls models their father's relationship with the other based on their father's characters, and boys model themselves after their father's character. Okay guys, so we have come to the end of our show. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to drop a comment. Asante sana.